Greetings to you. Lynette here. I'd like to go over my course schedule with you. This particular course schedule is for summer 2014 and it's an online course schedule. All course schedules are pretty much the same, so although yours might look a little different, the rules and the things that matter and the information they portray are pretty much the same. You should print this schedule and reference it often. It has all assignments, all tests, due dates, and lots of helpful hints on it. If you are an online student, the third column is hints. If you are an on-site student, the third column tells you what we're going to go over that day in class. Notice that it has a date column, a read and watch column, and a related homework, which is the due column. Then it will have what we're going to do in class or helpful hints in the final column. Our current line of this course schedule is what I'd like you to do before class starts, and that's to review the syllabus and the video, the course schedule, watch the video, register on my accounting lab. This is currently the course schedule video. Notice that I'd like you to have that done prior to class so we can, if you're an on-site student, so we can just rock and roll and get started on important things on the first day of class. Here, then, is how a typical class course schedule would read. It's broken into days. There are 30 days in Accounting 1110 that you need to fit into your life. Different courses have different numbers of days in them, but these are the number of days you have expectations due of you, and a day represents a bite-sized piece. It doesn't say a particular day on the online schedule because you're allowed to pick that for yourself. For the on-site schedule, it would have a day, and that would be the class day. It also would have underneath that the due date, so you would always be aware of when the material that is being shown to you here is due. Day 1 is due on the 18th of June. Let's look at it. So here's the date. It shows day 1, so there are 30 days. This one's due on the 18th. It doesn't have a class date on it because this is an online schedule. This column is showing you what you're supposed to read and watch. You're supposed to read pages 2 through 12, and these are the headings of those pages. And then you should watch these 2 short videos, and then you should do this homework. These videos and this homework is on my accounting lab. You should do the videos on the media on my accounting lab to get credit for it. And you should do the homework on my accounting lab to get credit for it. Once you've seen it on my accounting lab and received credit for it, you can watch the media links again if you would like to review the information. Notice in the hints column, it says I'm not teaching an on-site course in the summer, so if you want to get help, you would need to get it in the accounting lab. You can arrange for tutoring and get help there, and this is the current summer hours. Day 2 pretty much follows what day 1 does. It tells you the due date. All of chapter 1 is due on June 18th. But this day, you should read pages 12 through 25. This is the information covered on those days. This is the video that reviews what I think you might have trouble with, or what I really want you to review from that information. And then you go on my accounting lab and watch those videos and complete these homework assignments, and they would be shown on my accounting lab as chapter 1, day 2. My hint to you is you really need to work on learning what goes on each financial statement. Moving to day 3, still due on June 18th. By now it probably is June 18th for summer semester 2014. I recommend that you practice chapter 1 by completing E21. E21 is often difficult for students, so I've given them a help with E21. You won't find this on my accounting lab. You'll miss it if you're not looking on the course schedule, and if you send me an email, I'll refer you to this link. This link shows you how to solve that problem, and then I suggest a couple of other problems that you could work just for practice. Moving to day 4, you can see you're now on chapter 2. It has a different due date. For summer semester, they have one due date for entire chapters. On-site classes have more due dates than that. All due dates are shown on the schedule, so you'll always know where you are. You should read these pages. You should watch these videos on My Accounting Lab. You should do this homework. This information is mission critical. If you see something like that and it's troubling you and you can't do it, seek help in the Accounting Lab. But I have to tell you, on the first day of the chapter, you're not going to like the material. On the second day of the chapter, you're not going to like it, but you're not going to dislike it as much. By the time you finish a chapter, you should be pretty comfortable with the material. It's really an emotional experience, kind of interesting. It's how all accounting classes are. I can't explain it. First, it's really hard, but by the end of the chapter, you should feel really confident. If you don't, you should seek help from a tutor. I should have looked at this at chapter 2 or 1, but now on chapter 2 I'll point it out. At the end of each chapter, I have you go into a section on My Accounting Lab that's called My Study Plan. And what My Study Plan does is it tracks what you're working on. It's a type of artificial intelligence. It notices what you're missing on, what you're struggling on, and I believe how much time you're spending on each concept. And at the end of the chapters, it's made a list of problems it thinks you would be benefited by doing based on how you've been responding to it. So a wonderful tool. Before each test, I suggest that you work on the study plan in My Accounting Lab. I know it's hard in the summer because you're flying really fast anyway, but if you have time, or if you don't have time, if you have time, do the whole thing. If time is a factor, select just the areas you feel weakest on. Finally, our test is on Sunday, on 1 and 2, and it's due on 6/22. If you progress through the semester, you'll see that the whole study guide moves along in this fashion. And then go scrolling down to our next test, so you'll always know when you are going to test next. The schedule lays out the entire semester for you. Print it and keep it handy. While we're here, I want to look at day 12 with you a little bit. There is only one assignment that is offline during the whole semester, and I assign it on day 12, and it's due July 1st, and it's to complete a comprehensive problem. The work papers you can get by clicking right here. You can also get them by clicking on My Accounting Lab. They're in both places, and they're also in course documents. You go to problem 437B on page 264 in your book, and you complete that problem by hand on these working papers. This is a great review of the first 4 chapters. If you can't complete this problem, seek help immediately from a tutor. And when you're through with this problem, make sure that you could complete it again easily. And in fact, you might want to. This is mission critical for you to be successful in this course and all the rest. It's to understand how to make your way through an accounting cycle. It's the only problem like that we have. You submit it to me, and the instructions on how to submit it to me are on the work papers. So print that, and all questions you have will probably take care of themselves. And so the semester goes. And like I said, there are 30 days in this semester. You can see you have lots of things to read, lots of things to watch, and lots of things to do. Some days are more meaty than others. Some days I've built in review days. If I've built in a review day, it's not because I wanted to give you a day off. It's because I thought the material was so difficult that you should stop and review. Notice day 22 is a review day. And the test follows on Sunday. I have, as much as possible, made tests on Sunday throughout the semester, but summer being as short as it is, there's a couple of Tuesday tests along the way. Now we're to chapter 9, one of our most difficult chapters. You'll notice more reading, more watching, and more doing, and more hints. There are a lot of hints about what happens in the final in the hint section. I can't suggest you read the course schedule on a regular basis enough. We get towards the end. We get to the end of the semester. Notice you have a review for the final study guide. I would do the study guide, print it and do it, or open it online actually. I think you need to view that one online because it has a lot of links on it. Study, do whatever it suggests by hand. Spend 2 days reviewing for the final. It says in the hints that you should solve these questions by hand. Since the final is by hand, look, spelling error. I'll fix that by the time this goes out. It should say, then check answers on My Accounting Lab. So you solve the questions by hand, but you can check the answers on My Accounting Lab. Since the final is by hand, please get some practice working problems by hand. Sometimes students say to me, the final wasn't at all reflective of what we learned in the semester, and I know immediately that they didn't solve anything by hand. The questions are on the final are from the test bank that you test on all semester, and the problems are the final are similar to all the homework you did all semester. So what that tells me is you didn't do any work by hand all semester. And so instead of having a drop-down menu, you're trying to learn how to live without it. The final exam is not the place to learn to live without it. So then it says final exam is available on site for internet students from August 6th to August 8th. And I hope you knock it out of the ballpark. What I hope you have noticed as we've looked at this final study guide is that if you print it and use it, you'll always know what to read and what to do on My Accounting Lab. You need to do the videos on My Accounting Lab once to read to get credit for them. But if you want to see them again, these are links and you can set them off from right here and they will open a website. Wouldn't it be funny if it said link doesn't work? And off it goes, and you can watch the media, and there you go. We're not going to do that. We're going to come back to this. They are live links. Ugh, there's another notification. They are live links. They do work. I've checked them all, but you need to work them once on My Accounting Lab to get credit. I didn't make this course schedule because I didn't have anything to do. I made it because I want to be there with you every step of the way. Sometimes I'll be talking to you, and sometimes I've left you notes. One's asynchronous and the other's synchronous, if you get what I mean. I really want you to succeed. Summer's fast. So let's commit together right now. On your mark, get set. Let's go.